name is Brooke Kireta, and this is Connell. We are two of the authors of Strength in Our Story. Strength in Our Story is a new study we wanted to introduce you to. And the best way for me to explain anything about this study is to relate it to story. I don't know if you are like me, I love a good story. I was one of those kids that every Christmas I would ask for a book. I actually still ask for one this Christmas. Nobody gave it to me. I just realized that. Nobody gave me that book. But anyway, I would ask for a book for Christmas, and my mom would make her a promise that if I got that book, I could not read it on Christmas because I would literally disappear. I would disappear physically in the house. I would go find somewhere. I actually would hide behind. We had these hideous orange curtains because it was the 70s, early 80s maybe. And I would hide behind these curtains and read my book. And I would disappear emotionally into this story too. Like, it was like I would crawl inside the pages and felt like I became a part of it. And I don't know if you've experienced that. Maybe you're not a book reader. Somehow I have managed to raise 2 children out of 3 that hate reading. I don't know how. But you may not be a book reader, but you can still experience this when you watch movies or you hear someone tell a story, and it's like you fall in love with the characters. You become a part of it. And that's the power of story. And what we need to remember is God is the greatest storyteller of all time. He is telling a story now. He's been telling a story since the beginning of creation. And it's the story of who he is and how he loves us and how he is always coming after us. And this study points us to one really great story that the Lord told, which is Joseph's. I don't know if you're like me and you can kind of forget that people in the Bible were real people. Sometimes we just remember, we remember the great things that they did, and we forget they were human and they had the same struggles and frailties that we had. And as we go through this study, we look at Joseph's life, like his real life, who he really was, and his real family and who they really were. And you look at your own and what you experienced and what you really feel in real life circumstances, in real life situations. And it's a powerful, powerful thing when we look at story.
When I first came in contact with the material of Strength in Our Story, we affectionately call it the Joseph story. The Lanes, Donna and David Lane, led a team to Haiti after the 2010 earthquake, and they were wanting to respond to the tragedy there and the extreme emotional distress of the people there. And I was so impressed by this material and how relevant it was and how helpful it was to the people. And I started thinking, well, these are principles I can apply to my own life. And as a counselor and as a mentor, I realized that these were principles I could apply to the lives of my clients and to those that I mentor. Every single one of us experience disappointment. We have dreams and suddenly they don't happen. We experience tragedy. We experience loss, crisis. Every human being goes through that. And when we developed these materials further, we did it with the purpose of bringing that storyline, the storyline that God, he's in our story and he's writing a story. And the events of our life are not random. They actually have purpose when put in God's hands. And God can turn anything in our lives and bring out the dreams he's planted in our life. Just like with Joseph. I mean, talk about a great story going dark and tragic, and then an unbelievable triumph. You never saw that ending coming. That's the kind of ending God wants to write in each of our stories through Strength in Our Story.
Yes, and the first time I experienced this was in a small group setting. We did the study together, and it was transformative for me just because I hadn't been able to be with a group of people and be that transparent with what had gone on in my past, what was going on in my present, and they were able to point me towards hope in a future. So we hope that you will join us in this study. We've got below, there are some links. The book is available on Amazon. If you want to be a part of a group going through Strengthen Our Story, or if you want to start a group to take through Strengthen Our Story, there is information below. We would love to share more with you about it.